Hello, everyone. Welcome to round number 3 of the 44th Chess Olympiad in Chennai, India. And one of the highlights of this round is Levon Aronian's win against Centralizing of Georgia. It was another positional masterpiece from Levon, and it's critical for Team USA's win against Georgia. Let's check it out. Aronian started with c4. By the way, in this round, Wesley Saw takes his rest. All right. So the English for Levon. C6, knight f3, d5. Black plays the Slav. g3, knight into f6. Bishop d2 takes on c4. Castles, knight b d7. Black can also go for b5 here if you want to protect the pawn on c4, knight e5, and bishop to b7. White will go for a4 here, and then queen c7. Okay. Here, Michelis really went for knight b d7, queen into c2, attacking that pawn on c4. Knight b6. Now, with the knight on d7, it's not good to play b5 anymore. Okay, can, but white has b3, takes on b3, then we could take on c6. Rook to b8, a takes b3, the pressure on that pawn on a7. Yep. So knight b6 was played, knight a3, knight going to c4. Bishop e6, the knight and the bishop protecting the important c4 pawn. Knight e5, h5. All right, main point, most especially in this structure with a fianchetto on g2, black tries to break that pawn on g3, also to open up the h file for the rook, and a potential bishop h3 after the exchange on g3. Okay, knight takes c4, takes h4. Okay, we call this one attacking on the flank. H and A, these are two flanks on the board, the side of the chessboard. Knight e5, takes on g3, h takes g3, queen d4. Now, this is an interesting move. Right? It's tempting for white to capture on c6, right? Because again, if black takes on c6, this queen takes c6, double attack on the king and the rook. But here, after knight takes c6, black will just move back to e6, and white's knight has nowhere to go except for a5. Okay, if you go knight a5, say knight a5, rook into c8. Question is where to put the queen. Okay, let's just say the queen moves back to 1. Because if you play queen a4 check, I will play bishop to d7, right? And if you go back to b3, for example, now I have queen c5 hitting the knight. This is a trick. Knight takes b7, but queen goes to h5. Right? The flank attack. Threatening queen h2, you have to move your rook. Let's say rook to e1, queen h2, king goes to f1, and then bishop moves to h3, threatening mate on h1. Queen a4 check, knight goes to d7. Black wins. So that was the trick here, okay? If we have a deeper inspection into queen d4. So knight takes c6 is not possible. Levon went for the most solid continuation with queen c3, not allowing any complicated lines for black, yeah? No counterplay for black here. Most especially the attack on this king, especially the h file. So rook to d8 takes and takes. It was also possible here for black to go for queen d6. Right? Move back the queen to d6. Then after d4, only then you go to d8. Right? It's a possibility. And and let's say you move your bishop to f4, we have knight d5. So, and if the pawn or the bishop protects d4, knight d5. The rook cannot protect that pawn on d4 because this queen takes e5. Yes, if you take the queen, rook takes on d1. If you play bishop f1, the bishop goes to h3, threatening mate on f1, and then knight g4. Oops. So queen d6 was also a possibility here. Rook d8 takes, d3 with a 1. a6, alright, black played a6 because white was trying to go for bishop e3 and hit that pawn on a7. They played a6. Bishop into d2, bishop h3. Takes on g2, takes on g2. g6. Change to the rook d5, bishop c3. Rook h5, f4. Maintaining that centralized knight on e5. Black tries to drive it away, knight d7. Levon keeps his knight. e6, g4, nice move. a7, g5, right, nating these pawns. Bishop into d6, a4, right, from the king side to the queen side. King d8, b3, takes, knight takes e5, takes. I like this bishop takes. Now, for the minor piece here, this is a better knight than that bishop. Okay. d4, the nature of the position is close. Okay, so that favors the knight. Bishop goes back. Now, if let's say the bishop goes to f4 to attack this pawn here, white will just simply play e4. And if you go back, let's say rook to d7 and king f2, yes, the rook can go g1, rook g4 to drive away the bishop. So black didn't waste any time. Play the bishop to c7, e4, rook d7 and b4. All right. Rook h8, rook c1. Rook goes to e8, e5. The bishop is restricted. We have a strong knight controlling d, e, and the g pawn. Bishop goes to b6. Rook h1, control of the open file. Black had to give up the h file because, okay, for example, here he doesn't have rook h4. On h5, the knight is protecting. The knight is also protecting h2. So that's the reason why you just play rook e8. All right, I cannot do anything on the h file. Okay, let's say, for example, I move like a5 here. Takes, bishop takes. Levon with rook c1 was trying to go for d5. Yes, because rook c8 is coming. That was the main point of Levon's doubling up of the rook on the c file, because he was waiting for black to play a5, then he will push d5. Control. This is an elite player here, like Levon. Rook h1, rook d5, king g3. Look at the king. From g3 to f4, then e4. He doesn't want to go king f2 because of that pin. Try the other way without the pin. King e7, king f4. Centralized king, protecting d4, gives freedom to the other rook to move any way you want. Rook cc1. That was the main point of king e4. The knight and the king protects the important d4 square. Takes. Rook to d5, rook h8. Rook d8, rook h7. e6, a5. This pawn nails f and g. This pawn nails a and b. All right, the pawn nail. Bishop goes to a7, rook h1 back. King e7, king d3. Nice move. And rook h4. This is very instructive. Rook protects so that the knight can find a better square. Yeah. Nice one, Levon. C5 takes. King goes to C3, taking away B4, moving out of the pin. Bishop into A7, that's the better square for the knight. Alright, more activity on C4, there's knight D6, backward pawn weakness on F7. Bishop goes to B8 to protect knight D6, king D3. Rook to D5, back to E4. Wow. Rook to B5, rook H8, attacking the bishop. And knight E3. Grabbed, knight E5. No problem. This pawn is a bit too slow. Knight E5 check. Rook F8. This is much faster. The E pawn is much faster than the A pawn. Bishop D8. Knight F6 check first. King C8. Rook takes F7. A5, E6. Okay, pawn race. A4 here, Levon went for E7, which is also winning. What happened in the game? Takes, and here black resigns, because if he plays A3, you go rook E8 check, king C7, and you attack the pawn from behind. Although it was also possible for Levon, instead of E7, to just go for knight D5 here, taking away the C7 square. Now opponent pushes the pawn, rook F8 threatens E7. If you push A2, E7 with that pin on the king, promotion, and also checkmate on D8. This is a very instructive game from Levon Aronian. It also was critical in the USA's victory against Georgia, because Jubava was able to draw with Caruana. Dominguez was also a draw against Pansalaya. So that was it. A win for Aronian, and also Shangban won in board 4. And USA won 3-1. Wesley was resting in this round. So Team USA still with an unblemished record after round 3. Again, guys, thank you for supporting, and thank you for subscribing to our channel, Charles Max Chess and Charles Max Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. We will continue our coverage of the Chess Olympiad in the days to come. This is Coach Oliver. Stay safe, everyone, and bye-bye.